Welcome to the 60 Plus podcast.
I'm Janet.
I'm Joe. What are we talking about today, Janet?
Well, we're going to be talking about being on your own at 60 plus, maybe for the first time.
Or the first time in a long time.
We'll be talking about maybe you're starting your own household for the first time. Maybe you're dating for the first time. Lots to unfold there, right, Joe?
Yes, a whole lot.
And in fact, we'll probably spend the bulk of the time talking on that.
And you can call 1-800-DATE-JOE.
Or date Janet.
Okay. All right, so life on your own at 60 plus.
So the kids are grown, if you have kids, right?
Right, they're out of the house.
Right.
College is paid for.
Yep, the spouse is gone.
One way or another.
Who's to say? And all of a sudden you're like, okay, here I am. I'm 60 plus. I'm on my own. What do I want that to look like?
I need a couch.
I need a couch. And your whole life has been about taking care of other people. So you're also faced with, ooh, now I get to think about what I want and what my life is going to be like. And that can be a little scary in a way.
It can be a little scary because you're doing it on your own. You don't have that person by your side to mingle at a party or to go to the movies or go to a concert.
Right. So a lot of these things you have to kind of push yourself out the door. I mean, I know I struggle with that myself, and I think, oh, I'm just going to go out and eat at the bar and it's fine. And then you get there and you're like, oh my God, I'm sitting here all by myself. There's nobody to talk to. And you feel awkward, right?
It surprises me that you feel that way, though.
I know. Isn't that weird? That's like my
you're
deep,
very
dark
outgoing.
secret that I just revealed.
So how do you overcome that feeling?
I think it's about that little voice in your head. You know the one I'm talking about?
I don't know if I have the same voice in my head that you do.
Well, thank goodness for you. Well, that they tell
It might only be one voice in my
head. It
head.
lies to you, that little voice. I mean, that is not always your friend. It should be. It should be. Never forget hearing this. I don't remember where it was from, but you think about that little voice in your head. And if that little voice was a person sitting next to you on a couch, maybe your new couch.
A new couch.
And is maybe your roommate. How long would you want to be with that person? How long would you want to sit on that couch with that person? And I think it's a very provocative thing to ask yourself.
I remember years ago my kids took, it was a dance class and there was some yoga involved. And there was a name, I can't remember what the name of the person in their head was. But the teacher was always saying, you've got to push that person out of your head.
Yeah.
It's a negative voice that you're hearing often.
It could be. Actually, you have the power to change that negative voice into a positive one. And that's that whole concept, which I remember I heard this for the first time and I was like, I don't get it. You are not that inner voice. What? Isn't that kind of me? And it's like, no, it isn't really. That's a whole nother subject, maybe another podcast. I guess the first thing being on your own is, are you your own friend? And how strong is that relationship?
But you have to be honest with yourself about it too. And a lot of times that's hard to do.
Yeah. And do I need to do work on that? Again, we're spinning so much all the time, worrying about other people, worrying about what we need to do. And then if you're on your own for the first time, now you have a little bit of time to reflect, right? You have a little bit of time to focus inward. And again, what do I want my life to be at this point in time? Am I working? Am I dating? Am I, living with somebody? Am I not living with somebody? What does it look like? And do we chase what we had, or do we take a step back and say, okay, now's an opportunity to change, make those changes that maybe I've been putting off for a long time?
Some people are working. Some people are retired and not working for other reasons. And it's different. If you're working or you're working from home, you're spending a lot more time by yourself.
Yes,
sorry, if you're not
too
working,
much time.
if you're not working or you're working from home, you're spending a lot of time by yourself. How do you break that cycle? How do you kind of force yourself to get up off the couch and go out and meet people?
Yeah, I think that begins with activities. Doing what you think you would like to do. Maybe it's been on your list for a long time. I can remember thinking, when I retire, I'm going to paint more, or, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And realize I'm not going to wait till I retire to do these things. So when you go out on a limb and you try these things and new activities, you're going to meet those people who also have the same interests. So you already have some way to connect.
I think sometimes just doing it. You see something online, you might see some activity in the newspaper, or just get out and do it. I'll tell you the first thing I did. I went out and I signed up to play pickleball.
Yes, and that has been a journey.
The pickleball journey. It's an arduous journey. No, it's fun. I've gotten to meet a lot of nice people.
Very nice people, yeah.
I've gotten some exercise.
Yeah, some exercise for sure.
And I've gotten a lot of hard times from some friends saying, you're doing what? Playing pickleball? Maybe pickleball's on for you. Maybe you could take a pottery class.
Yeah, I have a friend, not a painter, never painted a day in her life. And she's like, I'm going to sign up for a watercolor class. It's like, okay, yeah. Surprise yourself. That voice that we were talking about should not be saying to you, you can't do that. Because actually you can do whatever you want.
You might not be a good painter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. That's not the point.
And also, I think this whole idea of keeping your mind fresh and learning new things is so critical, not just for your health today, but your health going forward. I think we were talking about this the other day about how lifelong learning is any regard. It doesn't have to be opening up a book, but gosh, no.
Do the Wordle, do the Sudoku.
Surprise yourself. I think that's...
Take a class.
Just go out there, go out on a limb and do those things that you've been putting off. Or even if it's just you see something, like you said, like you see a poster in the local coffee shop, that's another good thing. Go out for coffee.
It's easy. It's not a big commitment.
No.
There's a lot of people out there by themselves having coffee.
And you go up to the bulletin
board.
Yeah. And you can see what's going on in your town. And there may be an activity. I just joined a drumming circle. I just happened to come across. That's really cool. That's different. Totally out of my comfort zone, right? Because one would think, wow, that's a little bit strange. You're sitting in a circle with a bunch of people playing drums together. And it builds like community and you're just like, there's all this energy that comes out around it. And it's a little bit strange. It certainly wouldn't be for everybody, but it was cool. I liked it. It was fun.
And if you didn't like it, you don't have to go back.
That's it. You could leave, as a matter of fact. You'd be like, oh, wait, no, I didn't sign up for this.
All right. So one of the big things for 60 plus people when they're single is they may want to date. And if you're 60 plus, chances are the last time you dated was
never.
or a long time ago when dating was different.
I don't think I ever had a proper date.
What?
I just went right to marriage,
Oh, gee. We could talk about that off air. But dating is very different now because so many people meet online.
Yes, that is true. And there's this pressure almost that you have to go online. I can remember people saying that to me. Oh, you should start dating. You need to go online. You need to, do a profile. So I did. And I think I've probably been on every single dating site known to man. It hasn't really worked
in a good way, though.
For me. But that's okay. It is a bit of a quagmire. I've also had friends who have really focused on it and almost like a job. And they're like, I'm going to go on a date every single night with a different person until I meet the right one. And guess what? They did. I think they're married now. So, hey, 30% statistically speaking, 30% of new relations are found online.
So I've done a little research.
You have?
I have.
Okay.
And according to a 2020 Pew Research Center study,
ooh, Pew is good.
19% of Americans 50 to 64 and 13% of 65 plus have used online dating app. And of those, 24% of those 50 plus are currently using a dating site or have within the past year.
Okay, so we could actually extrapolate those percentages and projections into raw numbers.
I was told there would be no math involved.
I know, but think about it. We have the, I think, largest, fastest growing demographic in the country now.
Well, from the boomers to what's after boomers? We talked about this before, but
Gen X.
Okay.
Nobody knows who Gen X is.
Do they know who they are? No. So that's a sizable percentage. 1 out of 5 Americans, 50 to 64, I assume that are single, are using online dating.
But that's only 20%, which means there's another 80% out there that are what? Either, like, I don't understand that statistic. Is that of single people? 1 in 5 single people?
I would assume. I mean, I would hope married people aren't out there using online dating
of course.
dating
Well,
apps.
you'd be surprised.
Well, you would be. And that's okay in some of the dating sites.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody's a consenting adult in that, I suppose, but no judgment. It was 1 in 5 just in that age group, because then that means a good portion of them are probably married. I would want to see the base on those numbers to see what we're really talking about.
So you're saying I didn't do my research well enough?
Not very well, no. You do not get an A. I thought it was higher. My point is, and this is the point I'm trying to get to, right, is that if it's 1 in 5, let's say single people, single people in that age group that are dating online, that means that there's 80% that aren't.
And maybe they should be, or maybe a larger percent.
Or that means that there's opportunity to meet people in real life.
True.
And that, I think, is the trickier thing right now, because everybody's like, well, if you're dating, you're going to go online. Well, no. If you want to date and you want to meet people, what are you supposed to do if you don't want to go online? I think that gets us back to...
Take a class.
Yeah, getting out there. I would like to see the stats on how many people started dating because they met from your living room.
What does that mean?
Meaning if you're on the couch in your living room, unless you fall in love with the cable guy.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
you have to get out there.
The cable guy doesn't even come anymore. They send you something in the mail and you're supposed to do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Press 1 for to check your internet. So I was actually having this conversation this very morning with a very lovely woman who's clearly over 60. Actually, her daughter just got married and she lost 20 pounds for the wedding. And she looks great and she's a really nice person and everything. And she's on her bike. And I was like, hey, we should go out and there's music, prime dating season here. And she's like, I'm just not ready. I'm not ready. I want to lose more weight. What?
So if wanting to lose more weight is the only reason, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. Because
she may not be mentally ready.
Exactly. And I totally respect that. I went online, but I probably wasn't ready anyway. You know what I mean? I wasn't in the right headspace. Now I feel like I am, but will I go back online? I don't know. It was pretty scary. Sorry, Match.
And I do want to point out, if you do go online for dating, there are some tips that you should follow. And
absolutely, and I could probably give you a few, but you've done the research here, Joe. So let's see, second try, how good your research is.
Well, people our age aren't really native to online stuff. They may be fluent.
That's one of those myths that
they may be fluent, but they're not native. They didn't grow up with it.
Well, they're not. That's right. Neither did Gen X.
Right. People in their 20s are native. Right. And online dating has been a thing since they've been dating.
Phone in their hands and
exactly.
As toddlers.
So just a few safety tips.
Don't get scammed.
Well, there are scammers out there, so don't give up any personal information, especially financial information. Drive yourself to a date if you're going to meet in real life.
Yes, yeah.
Tell a friend where you're going to be and when you're going to be there.
Yes, and have that possible call during the date.
Sure.
They can get you out of it if you need that.
Explain that.
So tell somebody, where you're going, who you're meeting, and where you're meeting, and you tell them what time, and then a half hour into it or whatever, they'll give you a call, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to get this. They'll be like, so how's it going? And you're like, uh-huh. And they're like, okay, call me if you need me. And then if they're like, how's it going? You're like, no.
Could be an exit.
No. Oh, you're kidding. Oh my gosh. Oh, all right. I'll be right there. And you're just like, I'm so sorry, but I have to go.
Have you done that?
No, but I've heard that it's been done.
Okay.
I think I'm more direct and honest. Okay, gotta go. I think my Uber's here. I think that's a lot.
my cab's been waiting outside. The meter's running. I think I left the iron on.
Days like that. Trust me.
Oh
my goodness. I could tell you some stories if you want to hear them. But your point about financial information and all that, this was one of my points about some of these sites, like Plenty of Fish. I think they should actually call that catfish.
Okay.
And that's what it's called, catfishing.
Yes.
Right. That's like a real thing.
It is.
Right. And you do have to be careful about that. And you don't want to give a lot of personal information out. I think for me, I would opt for a telephone call. And in fact, during the pandemic, I was trying to do this. And I thought it was really good that you had to do a video call first because you could see the person, you could have a conversation, and it was safe because you could do it through the app. You didn't have to give your telephone number. You didn't have to give any of that information. Some people have a separate number for these things.
They do. And some of the sites even provide a way to call using a different number.
Right.
So
or
it's not,
through the app
It's
itself.
not your own. Actually, at seniorliving.org, one of the tips is be wary of frequent excuses to not do a video chat or a meeting in real life or a phone call.
Yeah.
You know, because it could be some guy in India trying to scam
and
you.
quite frankly, I don't have a lot of time to be texting back and forth, trying to develop a relationship that way. Again, to me, it's the furthest thing from organic. I would like to meet somebody out in my natural habitat.
So what's a good way to just get up off the couch and get out there and push yourself beyond your comfort zone a little bit?
Go outside and take a walk.
Go outside and take a walk.
Yeah.
Say hello to someone as they're walking their dog.
Get a dog.
Big commitment.
I know, that's a huge commitment. But man, they are icebreakers. That's what you're looking for, icebreakers.
I have an idea for a business.
What's that?
Dog rentals.
Oh, that's a good idea. Or you could just sign up to be a dog walker.
A dog walker.
And you can make a little money.
Make a little money on the side.
Maybe you're retired and you're thinking about a new career.
But that's a job. If you
but
can
then,
rent a dog, like, okay, I want to rent the dog Saturday morning, 9 to 11 a.m., and you just walk the dog.
Okay, Joe, that's brilliant, really. I think that you should definitely commercialize that.
But would I have to keep the dog? I love dogs, but I recently learned I really love
You're
dogs.
still going to have to pick up their poop, I have to tell you.
I really love dogs, but I've learned as I'm 60 plus, I don't want to have a dog. Just it ties you down.
Oh, they're so sweet.
They are.
Yeah. Yes, I'm always counting hours on my fingers. Like, okay, let's see. I left at noon, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, I got to be back by 5. My dog's old, so she's can only go for so long. Yeah, it is a little bit, you know, but you get somebody to help out and yada yada. Now I'm watching my daughter's dog, so
now you got
I got a double whammy.
You double whammy. All right, so being on your own can be a little scary. And if you haven't been on your own in a while, just dip your toe in the water. You don't have to jump in and do everything all at once.
No, be kind to yourself about it. It is, you know, I used the word journey earlier. It is a journey, and it's one step at a time. What can I do that I'm comfortable with? This idea of fear, it is a paper veil. Once you're out there, it's not as scary. Once I get to that bar and I'm eating my sushi, I'm fine. But it's what you tell yourself. It's back to that voice. Oh, no, I can't. You know,
Everyone's going to be looking at me.
I'm thinking I'm a loser. No. Actually, I had somebody tell me one time, they might be thinking, oh, wow, hey, that person's kind of cool and hot. I'm going to go talk to them, you know? Like they're on their own. I have discovered when I do go out on my own, magical things can happen because you are now open to the world. Whereas when I'm with somebody else, a friend or whatever, I want to be focused.
You're focused on
them.
that person.
Right. Rightly so. I'm not one to be on social media when I'm with somebody else. I want to be out in the world and available when I'm on my own. And then I think that's when you can meet and discover new things and whatnot. So it's a good thing.
So when you're in a relationship with someone, it's easier to make friends because, well, when I was younger, a lot of my friends were my kids' friends' parents. How do you make friends as someone on your own when you're 60 plus?
I think the same way you make friends when you're 20. It starts with a conversation or a common interest, don't you think?
Pickleball.
Back to pickleball.
Back to pickleball.
It's all about pickleball.
It's all about
folks.
pickleball.
Just pick up that paddle and go.
But it could be tennis. It could be playing chess in the park. It could be anything. Just show up. 90% of success is just showing up.
Yeah. yeah, like I said, nothing's going to happen while you're sitting on your couch at home.
So should we have some takeaways for people from this episode of 60 Plus Podcast?
Get out there.
Get off the couch.
Do it.
You can do it.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Surprise
it really
yourself.
is. It really is. If you're sitting there saying, oh, I should really get out there, I should really do something, and then let that little voice in your head convince you not to, and then it gets to be like 8 o'clock at night, and you're like, I guess I'll watch another movie on Netflix.
Right.
But you're kicking yourself.
Like, oh, I was going to go out for a walk, but is that a raindrop that I see?
Walking in the rain is fun, but you don't meet so many people.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
Meet somebody who likes to walking in the rain. Isn't that a song? Yeah, so be your own best friend. I think it gets back to that voice. Yes, I can do this. And yes, I will be fine. Who knows what can happen? So be positive about the possibilities.
All right. Do we have anything else to mention before we wrap this up?
Let's see. I've had really good luck with Wayfair for extra furniture.
Oh. So, yeah, if you have to outfit a new place,
yeah.
right?
And you don't want to spend a lot of money.
You don't want to spend a lot of money.
And
Wayfair.
you want it delivered to you without any big costs.
Pretty much. Again, people our age, they're not native to online things.
Oh, please. I don't know anybody who doesn't know how to online shop at this point.
Well, Amazon is ubiquitous.
Right. IKEA is also a fun place to get furniture because I love putting it together. Talk about keeping your mind active. Right?
It's fun. And going to IKEA is kind of a treat. Surprisingly, they have very good kitchen stuff.
They do. No, they have really good stuff. Mm-hmm. They really do. I mean,
it's not the IKEA of 25 years ago.
But I think they still have Swedish meatballs.
They do. But putting a household together,
it's good branding.
That can be fun. That can be fun, planning it and designing it, and it's all your taste.
Yes, because you're making decisions for yourself now. That's
no compromises involved.
Just it's kind of exciting because I don't have to ask anybody's opinion. I'm only asking again my own opinion. What do I want? And I say, take your time answering those questions. Sit and be like, what do I want? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want my space to look like? What do I want to see, hear, feel on a daily basis? And follow your dreams. Oh my God, I sound so inspirational.
Don't be mired down in, I've got all these decisions to make.
Yeah, or I have to do this, or I have to do that, or no, I should do this, I should do that. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
All right. One more thing about living on your own for the first time in a long time. The cooking thing.
Ooh. Find somebody to cook for you.
Or find someone to cook for.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Your friends become so integral to your life. Your good friends are gems. And I could start crying just thinking about my good friends and how lucky I feel to have them in my life. So I try to make it fun. Turn on the music. Maybe open up a bottle of wine if you'd like to have a little vino. And create something. But I don't do that every night, I have to say.
No, you can't do it every night.
No.
And the thing that I found challenging was the grocery shopping. Because I would like to go to the grocery store once a week. I can't because
you're shopping for one now.
You're shopping for one. I can't buy a bunch of bananas.
Yeah, you just have to rip one off. It's like look around to see if anybody's watching. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I don't know why I always feel guilty about that. I've hurt the other bananas or something.
Do you feel guilty about that?
Yes, I feel guilty about everything, Joe.
Okay. Well, don't do that. Don't be like Janet.
Don't be me.
All right. So I think the big takeaway is just keep moving forward.
Have fun.
Keep moving forward.
Take the next step.
Get outside of your comfort zone a little bit. And there's an expression, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just do little things along the way.
And that includes dating.
Exactly.
Go on that first. Somebody invites you out for a cup of coffee. Say yes. It's just a cup of coffee.
It doesn't have to be a lifelong thing. It can just be a cup of coffee. And it may turn into something. It may not.
You never know. You just never know.
All right. So I think that might be about it for this episode of the 60 Plus Podcast. What do we have coming up down the road?
Well, I think that we're going to be talking about old dogs' new tricks.
Are we the old dogs?
I think we're the old dogs.
Yeah.
Bow wow.
Back to the dogs.
Yeah, back to
I
dogs.
do love dogs. I don't want people to get the wrong impression.
Joe, that was not good.
I do love dogs. I just don't want to have one all
we
the
like
time.
cats too.
They're okay.
Yeah, so I think we want to talk about how the firsts, and it's kind of rides on what we were just talking about, getting out of your comfort zone. There's a lot of great stories of people who really re-engineered their lives, and I think that's what we're going to be talking about in our next podcast.
All right, Janet, it's always fun.
Yes, thanks, Joe.
All right, stay tuned to the 60 Plus podcast, where we talk about all things related to being 60 plus, like Janet and me.
Yeah, bye.
Talk to you next time.